In this video, you'll discover how to make an irresistible offer that your prospects can't resist. Now, there are 10 criteria to making your offer truly irresistible. And make sure to stay until the end because the 8th criteria is the most important, but often the most overlooked. If you're new to my channel, my name is Peter Scott. I'm the founder of Fearless Coach Academy, where we have trained thousands of coaches since 2013 to launch and scale their coaching business. The first criteria is a question that you must ask yourself, and that first question is there an existing and urgent demand from a large group of people for what you're offering? If there isn't demand, if demand doesn't exist, your job is going to be really hard. Think about it for a moment. Let's say that you're a coach and you're really passionate about underwater basket weaving. It doesn't matter how passionate you are about that if there's not a lot of demand from a lot of people out there. You will struggle. Now, could you create demand for something that doesn't exist? Sure, companies have done it throughout human history. However, it took a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of team. And if you're just starting your coaching business, then those are resources that you don't have yet, most likely. So make sure, number one, that what it is that you're offering is going to meet a existing demand that's out there, and there's a significant demand there. The second question is, does my coaching product or service fulfill this demand in a unique way? Is your coaching unique and different? I don't know about you, but I have noticed that this entire coaching industry has become very saturated and flooded in the last 5 years. And so because of that, you're not the only life coach. You're not the only business coach. You're not the only health coach out there. Whatever it is that you're coaching, you got to make sure to position it in a unique and different way. Because if you don't, you will be viewed as a commodity. And then people will choose whether they're going to work with you based on price, not based on the value that they're getting. When you know how to position yourself in a unique way, the perceived value increases, you'll have better conversion rates, and you'll be able to charge higher ticket for your coaching. The third question is, what are the primary emotions that the prospect is experiencing right now as they relate to the specific problem that your offer solves? Now, why is this important? Well, because people purchase on logic, but they justify based on emotion. And so if you're going to truly enroll clients, then you've got to make sure to understand what are the emotions that they're feeling, not just what they want and desire, but what are their current frustrations? What are their current fears? What are those emotions that are so present for them that when they see your message, they know that you're talking to them because they know how you feel? This is ultimately what a magnetic message does, is it allows you to cut through the noise, and when somebody sees it, they think to themselves, oh my gosh, how do you know what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing? It builds that know, like, and trust factor faster than anything else. So yes, you want to have the logic. Yes, you want to know how to articulate the logistics of your offer. But before you do that, you must connect to the deep primary emotions that the problem that you solve is creating in that prospective client. So that's the third question. The fourth is, what are the reasons why, the objections, why someone would have to not buy your offer? You always want to be prepared to not handle those objections after you make your offer, because in that instance, it's way too late. Rather, you want to make sure to ask the right questions that eliminate the objections before they happen. So what are those objections? If you don't know those objections, you're not going to know the questions to ask. In our sales process, we are very specific and strategic in the questions that we ask because we want to reduce the objection of, I need to think about it, or I need more time, or I need to check my finances, or I need to chat with my spouse, or whatever those are. Now, does that mean those never come up? Of course not. They still come up from time to time, but when you're prepared, you know how to position your marketing, your messaging, your follow-up, and your sales process to eliminate those objections. So when you do make your offer, it truly is irresistible. The fifth question is, what are all the outcomes someone will have when they get what you offer? So what's the tangible, measurable benefit from them purchasing your coaching? Not only how they're feeling, but what does that look like in reality in their life? If you're a business coach and you help somebody improve their sales, then what sort of improvement in their income could they get from working with you? And what would that improvement, how would that impact their quality of life, their family, their marriage, their stress levels, right? You want to really get clear on what are the tangible, measurable outcomes and in what timeline could they achieve that? The more you articulate that effectively, provided that you can fulfill on that promise, the more likely they're going to see the value in your offer and say yes to you at the end. If it's unclear, if it's not tangible, then people may feel okay about it. They may like you, but are they going to actually pull out their credit card and make a significant investment? Probably not. So really, really critical that you are clear on the outcomes that they're going to get. The sixth question or criteria is there or can we make a limit to the offer? Now, if you are a one-on-one coach and you do one-on-one coaching, of course there's a limitation there because there's only so many hours in the day. If you lead a group coaching program, there's absolutely a limit there because there's only a certain number of students and clients you can have on those group calls. So what is that limit and how can you articulate that there are limited spots available? I'm not suggesting that you make this up if it's not true, but let's say that you're working full-time in corporate right now and you're wanting to build your coaching or your consulting business on the side. You can't take on 20 clients right now. You may only be able to take on 1, 2, 3, 5 clients at the most. So there really is genuine scarcity and you want to communicate that. Why? Because if there's limited spots, there's more urgency for your offer. If they can get access to that spot whenever they want, they may not make a decision right now in the moment. And I'm unattached, and I hope you are too, whether they say yes or no. What I'm attached to and what I want you to be attached to is supporting them in deciding yes or no versus let me think about it and get back to you. So that's really important, is being able to create that limitation. The seventh question is there a deadline or can we make one for this offer? And again, this is only genuinely if you have a deadline. So here's a way that you could do a deadline. Let's say that you're just starting your coaching business and you want to be charging $10,000 for your coaching or $5,000 for your coaching. But because this is your first coaching client that you're selling, you're not going to charge the full amount because you want to make sure that you over-deliver on what you're promising. So you're going to take on a case study client. And you're going to take on a case study client at a 50% discount. I'm making this number on the fly. So let's say that you have a $5,000 offer. It's normally $5,000, but because this is your first case study client, you're willing to do it at a 50% discount in exchange for their testimonial. Now, you just made an offer, $2,500, that has a deadline. Why? Because this is not going to be available forever. It's literally limited to your first client or by this date, right? Let's say that it's the end of a year, then say, okay, well, in the next year, in the next calendar year, which could be a week away, a month away, a few months away, your pricing is going to be X. So now there's a deadline associated with them making a decision. Really, really important thing to include in your offer to make it irresistible. The eighth question or criteria is how can we remove risk to the prospect of taking us up on this offer? Now, this is the thing that I alluded to in the very beginning of the video. This is the most important because even if they see great value, there's still uncertainty. There's still unknown that you're going to fulfill on your promise. So what can you do to reduce that risk or transfer that risk from the prospect to yourself? One thing that we do inside of Fearless Coach Academy is we offer a 30-day love it or leave it guarantee. And what that says is it says if you don't get the value or you don't make the traction that you want within the first 30 days, then you can let us know and you can cancel the agreement going forward. So the risk is not on them at all. We take that risk on our shoulders because we're that confident in what we're delivering. So are you including that in your offer? If you're not, you're probably missing opportunity on getting clients because they're so close to saying yes. They're just not ready to because they don't feel comfortable yet. If you were to make that 30-day love it or leave it or that 90-day trial period or whatever that is, then it's very likely that they would say yes. Now, could people take you up on that guarantee because you didn't provide value? Of course, that could happen, but that's not on them. That's on you. Right? So you got to make a clear agreement of provided that you actually show up to the calls and you do the work and you roll up your sleeves and you're still not getting traction, then we can honor that. So you may put in a conditional guarantee there, but that's one way that's really powerful to create that guarantee to reduce the risk. The ninth question is, does my value proposition clearly demonstrate a 10x or greater return on the investment I offer? So for example, if you are a business growth coach, then you're asking the result of your coaching is people can add $100,000 in revenue or in profit to their business. then that's 10x, right? If you have a $10,000 offer. That's a great way to reverse engineer what prices that you should charge. You never want to overcharge and underdeliver. That is not a way to create happy clients. I know you know that, but recognize you want it to not just have a 2x or a 3x return, you want it to have a 10x return. Because when the perceived value is 10 times the amount that you're asking them to pay, it's a drop in the bucket. So there's less resistance. You're gonna have a higher conversion. You're gonna have happier clients, provided that you fulfill on that promise. The 10th and final question is, do I have or do you have social proof elements to back up all your claims? In the beginning, you're the only one who's going to be sharing how great of a coach you are. But over time, as you start working with clients, you will have success story after success story. What you want to do is capture those success stories, put those in a library, and let that be your marketing, because that's what's going to increase the perceived value of your coaching. And the more of those testimonials, the more of those case study interviews that your prospects see, the higher perceived value of your offer, the better conversion, and of course, the more irresistible it'll be. So those are the 10 criteria, the 10 questions that you want to ask yourself to make your offer truly irresistible. Now, if you want this all put down in a one-page PDF, it's called our Irresistible Offer Checklist, and it's a way for you to differentiate your coaching offer so that you stand out from the crowd and attract the clients that you want. Just comment checklist below, or click the link in the description and you can download the Irresistible Offer Checklist for free. Now, before I wrap up this video, if you got value from this, please do hit subscribe right now so that you never miss a future video. And once you've subscribed, make sure to check out my next video up here, which reveals the 9 critical sales mistakes that every coach should avoid. So go ahead and click here, watch that video. My name is Peter Scott, reminding you to be here, act now, and fear less.